Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, my plan was to vlog early and have it done, and then I was going to go to sleep early so that I could get up early tomorrow and get all my stuff done because we are leaving early on Wednesday morning. I think we're leaving the house at like something ridiculous. I don't even know. We have to be at the airport. Our plane leaves at 6. So, but let me just tell you, I'll tell you everything. I was kind of like trying to think about what I was going to talk about in the vlog tonight because I'm kind of like so frazzled at this point that like my mind is just like, It always takes me so much time in preparation to get ready to leave somewhere or to leave to go on vacation. I'm sure you guys relate to that. So I was like, I am going to talk about everything that I did to get ready, which I'm sure is so exciting, but I don't know, it's something different, I guess, right? And then I was going to talk about like some of our pastimes in Las Vegas. And I might talk about some of those tomorrow too on there, because I'm gonna vlog tomorrow during the day so that I can have my vlog rendered and up and like ready to go when I get to Las Vegas. I like when I leave tomorrow, well, when I leave Wednesday morning to go to the airport, like I want the vlog ready to be posted. And I'm also gonna pre-film probably a few videos for Wednesday, unless something like really crazy happens. While I'm in Las Vegas, I mean, I'm gonna film every day. I'll vlog every day, and I will film on my Peter Monn channel every day, and I will film probably on my review channel almost every day. But I know what review I'm doing for my Peter Monn channel tomorrow, and then I think I'm gonna buy, there's something I wanna buy tomorrow that I've wanted to buy for a while, so I'm thinking about reviewing that tomorrow. Well, I actually have 2 different things that I could review. I could do it in one review, but I don't want to do that because I want to do 2 separate reviews. It's actually a review that I've talked about doing for a long time. So, yeah, and then but I have mine already ready for tomorrow. It's, so anyway. But I did a Starbucks, today I did a Starbucks review. I hadn't planned on doing it, and I was going through Starbucks, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna do this review while I'm here, and I'm gonna do the purple drink, because I knew I wanted to do the purple drink sometime since I had done the pink drink, so I wanted to try it, and, so I did. You can go watch that review if you want. I'm like living for the review channel. I love the review channel. I'm having so much fun on it. I'm having so much fun thinking of new things to do and everything. So, what did I do today? So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to tell some stories about Las Vegas and whatever. I have a Diet Coke in a bottle because when I was at Target earlier, I was so thirsty. I was like, I've got to buy something, and then I bought this, and I had only a couple sips of it, and then left it in the car. So. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I got up today and well, part of the problem was I was just like messing around the house forever, and like all of a sudden I realized it was pretty late in the day, and I had a hair appointment at 6:15, and my hair does not look great now because I've just been kind of going all day long, but I had a hair appointment at 6:15, so I had to get all my stuff done so I could get there, because that's like quitting hour traffic, you know, and stuff, and I had to go to the north side, which was going to take me even longer to get up there because of the traffic and whatever. So, but I had to go get Pee-Pee's medicine. I had to go I was only going to do a couple things today, and then I was going to get the majority of it done tomorrow. The thing is, on the day before we leave for vacation, I am always rushing, and like Alex always packs 2 days before. He's packed. Like all he has to, he's waiting for a pair of shoes to come in the mail, and they're supposed to come tomorrow, and then all he has to do is put all this stuff in a suitcase, and he's done. But usually he's packed, I cannot get the temperature right in the car tonight, but usually he is packed like 2 days in advance. So like tomorrow he'll go to work, and then he's going over to his friend's house tomorrow night to like discuss North Coast, because they're going to North Coast. Well, I guess she's giving him 2 of the tickets to go to North Coast because she won them in some concert or something, or contest, so on the radio, or I don't even know what. So she is giving him 2 of his tickets, but he's going over. It's his friend that he usually goes to those things with in Chicago. So he's going and hanging out with her tomorrow night. And then, but we have to be up at like 3 in the morning or something to leave. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't stay up until 12 or 1 or 2. And I always do that. I'm always packing at the last minute. I'm always, you know, have the bathroom light on, and Alex is asleep, and he goes to bed at 9, and he gets a good night's sleep before we go, and then he's rested for the next day. And I don't want to do that, like, I can't do that because I'm staying up literally like every trip we take. I finally lay down and I have like a half an hour to sleep, like every single time. Melissa and I were actually talking about this before Miami, because we both do the same thing. And Jason gets mad at her, and he's like, well, he doesn't get mad at her, but he's like, you know, like, just pack your bag the day before. And I was like, girl, Alex says the same thing. He's like, why don't you just pack your bag the day before? And but you know, my schedule's a little bit more flexible, and so you know, I go around and I get the dog food, and I, you know, take the dogs to the kennel and stuff like that. But Alex actually tonight, so I went and I bought the dog food from the vet, and then we already had food for Boo and Tucker, and I bought the dog food from the vet, and then I brought that home. Alex put it together tonight, and he put all of PP's medicine together, and it's all ready to go. So he has it in like a shopping bag for like, what's this place called up here? Not Trader Joe's, not Whole Foods, but something like that. Anyway, I can't think. I'm gonna pass it in a second, and I'll tell you. But anyway. Or actually, I'm not going to pass it because I'm going to turn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like Whole Foods. It's one of those bags. He has all the stuff sitting on the counter. And then, what else did I do? There was something else I did. I can't remember what it was. I had a bunch of errands I had to run. And then I came home, and there's a lot of stuff I have to do, like, just like making sure everything's fine before we leave, you know? And so, I got home, and then I filmed, I actually did the review, and then I filmed a rant video in my car. So I came home, and I rendered those and uploaded those, like, real quick. Well, they were uploading while I was going to get my hair cut. And I actually looked at it on my phone and was just checking while I was there to see that it was like done, and it was done. And I hit publish by accident. So it was, but I wanted to watch it back first to make sure that, you know, like the beginning and the end and everything was cut off. And, because like sometimes I'll say like if you watch my videos, you'll know this, right? That I'll say like, oh, and here's the picture, and then I forget to insert this picture. And I had inserted a picture, and I wanted to make sure it all came up and everything like that when I put it up there. So I wanted to watch it back. So like I had hit publish, and like 200 or 300 people saw it. I think it was 400 people saw it actually, and were like, why'd you take the video down? Like it was like this big conspiracy. But I was like, there's no it's not. It was up, and I didn't get a chance to watch it back, and I wanted to get home and watch it back, and then I would put it up, and so I did. But anyway, what was I gonna say? So then I came home, and I got the review video up, and then Alex was home, and he was supposed to actually go over to his friend's house tonight, and he was like, I'm gonna go over there tomorrow night instead. And he was like, I wanna get this stuff done, and I was like, okay. So he was packing and finishing up his laundry and everything, and I was doing some stuff. I like started downloading some movies that I wanted, and got all that taken care of. I got my audiobook that I wanted to read. I found an audiobook that I'm going to read on this trip. Well, first of all, I have to finish Lock Every Door, which I really liked that book at first, but it is really dragging now. I'm kind of real bored with it. Like, I'm just not real interested in reading it anymore, and I definitely don't want to read it in Vegas. So I found another book. I can't remember what it's called. I'll pull in here in a second, and I'll tell you what it is. So I looked at my audiobook, and then I was like, I think I'm going to run to Macy's right now, so I don't have to do that tomorrow. And he was like, okay. So I went to Macy's, and they were only open for like half an hour more. And I ran in there, and I got a couple things to wear to like go out. Cause I like, when I was going through my stuff, I was like, I really don't have anything right now that fits. Like, I'm in between sizes that nothing like really fits. It's like too tight or too baggy. And not baggy cute to like go out to a club or go out to a restaurant or something like that. And then I was like, well, if I have time, I'll go to Target too, because I wanted to go to Target and get some t-shirts, which, well, I'll tell you what I bought in a second. So anyway, this book that I bought, what is going on over there? Something's going on over there. Looks like a policeman in that. Okay, the audiobook that I bought, I have never heard of it. It just came out. It's called The Churchgoer by Patrick Coleman. And it's about this guy that like was real involved in some like evangelical church, like when he was growing up and as he got older, and then he left the church, and now he's like a surfer. I think it said in California, like, I don't know, like in LA or something like that. I don't know. And then like this one night he meets this girl, and they're like kindred spirits. He'd even use those words. And he like is like crazy for her, right? And then when I was in Target, this guy, he was like in there with his son, and they were like shopping. He's like, that's a great purple. And I was like, thanks. I think it makes me look 300 pounds, but whatever. Makes me look like a grape. I was like, thanks. I didn't say all that. But anyway, I should have said, they're right over there on the rack. I got it at Target. But anyway, it's about this guy, and he like meets this girl, and I don't know what happens, but anyway, then a friend of his is murdered in this bar, and they don't know why he's murdered. And the same day that his friend is murdered, she like cons him and like takes his stuff and goes, and he has no idea where she's at. And so then he has to go into like it's like they said something about him chasing after her and trying to find her in the seedy like underground of like all of the like LA, and then it goes into this like he has to go back into this like religious cultish kind of thing to try to find her and stuff like that. And doesn't that sound good? I thought it sounded real good. So it'll either suck or it'll be great. But anyway, there's never really any in-betweens between those books. So I went to Macy's. What did I get at Macy's? I got a button-down collared short sleeve shirt to wear one night out. And then I now have like, so that polka dot shirt that I bought, I have it long sleeve in black and white polka dots. I have it short sleeve in blue and white polka dots. And then I bought, this is so stupid, but it was on sale and I didn't care. I mean, I got such a great deal at Macy's. And they're also, by the way, they're having, this Saturday, he told me, they're having a 30% off everything at Macy's. So he was like, if you want to buy it now and you can just hold it. I was like, well, I'm leaving on vacation. I need this stuff. So, but I thought that was cool that he offered that to me. So anyway, I bought a blue and white. It's black and white. It's like my long sleeve shirt, but just short sleeve. That's the only difference. And I bought that. And then, what else did I buy? I bought a pair of like khaki shorts that have like this piping down the side. Oh, and then I have this blue and like maroon or blue and red like striped shirt that I'm gonna wear out to a club one night. And it had matching shorts, you guys, like a leisure outfit. But I got the shorts to wear in the hotel room. They're like dressy pajama pants. I thought they were kind of like sexy. I thought, well, this would be kind of fun for like, you know, a date night in the hotel room with Alex and I. And, because I had tried on my pajamas, and Alex was like, those are so cute, but they're like really stiff, like they need to be washed, and I didn't want to wash them and then have them shrink and then take them, and I'm trying not to pack a ton of stuff anyway. I don't know if you guys know this, if you've heard me talk about this in vlogs before, but when I go places, I have to have a fan to sleep with. Like, I have slept with a fan since I was like 5 years old, so I have to have a fan, and I have to have it on my face. And so I have little travel fans, and I know people are like always want to recommend like those don't cut it. I mean, I need like a polar wind fan. And I used to have the ones that are like round, like this big, and then like they sit, and they're like that thick. and it takes up like a quarter of my suitcase. Well, then I bought this blue one that I actually reviewed on my channel, on my review channel, and that's fantastic to pack, but it still takes up a quarter of my suitcase, right? So it means I can't take like a pair of shoes or two, and it's heavy, so I'm always like right at the limit on, you know, the weight of a bag. So I called our hotel. Sometimes it's real weird. Some places you go, they don't have vans. And some places you go, they'll be like, oh yeah, no problem. And I called him. The guy was so nice, and he was like, I was like, I know it sounds really weird, but really weird, but really weird. I was like, I have to sleep with a fan, and we're checking in on Wednesdays or anyway. And he was like, yeah, no problem. He was like, you know, it is what it is. So, and he was like, yeah, we have a bunch of fans. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So, yeah. I was trying to think of something. Oh, but now I don't have to like pack a fan, which is really nice. It gives me a lot more room in my suitcase because I like options. Alex is like, do you think you have enough things? I was like, babe, you pack just as much as I do, so let's just, that's one thing we are equal on, okay? Let's just not even start with it, okay? There's a lot of things that are different about us, but we pack exactly the same. I looked over and he's got like 6 pairs of shoes out. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I said, well, I like options. And he goes, well, I like options too. It is always, vacation is so great for us, like, you know, and it's kind of like, well, he never stresses about traveling. I'm always the one, I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done, blah, 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 whatever, blah, 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 you know? And always have all this kind of stuff to do. And then, like, but he's always kind of relaxed. I'll tell you when I'm relaxed, okay? When we are sitting at the gate, ready to get on the plane, that's when I'm relaxed. That's when I feel like my vacation starts, is when I'm sitting at the gate and we're getting ready to board. Like, that's when I feel like, and I got my Starbucks in my hand and I'm ready to go. Like, that's when I feel relaxed. Until then, like, I'm always kind of like in my head like this and this and this and this and this, you know? So I went to Macy's and I got that, and then I went to Target and I thought, well, I'm gonna get some shirts, and I you know, I always end up buying all of this crap I totally do not need for vacation, and it's just like repeats of everything, right? In fact, I was talking to Alex about that the other night, and I mean, I cannot tell you how many black t-shirts I own, you guys, you know, of the same brand from Target. So many that I wear them out left and right, right? And I said, you know, and I know this goes against a lot of what I say on here, but I really don't buy nice things for myself very often, you know? Like I was talking about that backpack on here one night, that Gucci backpack. Alex and I were actually talking about that the other night, and he was like, did you decide against that? And I go, I just don't know that I would use it every day. So I feel kind of foolish for using it every day if there's no reason that I'm gonna get it. I've had like this dream watch, you guys, for like 25 years. I literally have had this dream watch that I have wanted. And I told him, I said, I'm more about like saving money to get that dream watch. But then the thing is like, I think if I got the money saved to get the watch, I would have a really hard time just like spending it on that. I don't know. So I told him, I said, but you know, there are some things that I like, kind of like would like to have. And he was like, what? And I said, I don't know. I said, I'm not really big into the jewelry, but I said I would like to have, like, you know, I'm really into those gold coin necklaces. I'd like to have like a nice gold coin necklace. I'd like to have like a day. This guy just ran a red light. Straight up, just totally ran a red light. Like, went right past me and then ran a red light. I said, I'd like to have a David Yurman bracelet. And I said, they're not too expensive. They're, you know, a couple $100. So if I saved, you know, and got one like, I don't know, something like every other month. And I said, then there's some Louis Vuitton, you know, jewelry that I like. I'm just not really big into all of that. But like, I will say that Gucci and Louis Vuitton has some things I like, but then I'm like, if it's not something that I would use on a regular basis, there's no point for me to have it. Like, there just isn't. Like, it's just waste then for me, you know what I mean? But instead of just buying like a bunch of crap, you know what I mean? Like Tanya and I were talking about that. She's like, I feel the same way as you. She's like, I go to Meijer and I go to Target and then like I blow money on all this clothes. It's just in my closet that I don't ever wear. And she was like, you know, if I like instead went and bought like one or two really nice things that I would wear, then it would be stupid, you know? And I agree. I'm the same way. It's like, you know, I spend a bunch of money on just stuff that I wear like once or twice instead of like buying. And I was telling her about this shirt that I got actually at Nordstrom Rack that I wear like all the time. It has this little pocket on the corner of it. It was like an expensive t-shirt, but I wear it all the time. I wear it like more than I wear like my other t-shirts, my like black t-shirts and stuff. It's really, I've gotten my, you know, I've gotten my money's worth out of that t-shirt. So it's like worth it, I guess. I don't know. But then I went to Target, and I actually didn't buy a lot at Target, and I actually didn't buy a lot at Macy's, and the three things I got were all like outrageously on sale. So I bought a black Umbro t-shirt to wear to the pool, and then I bought a pair of like black Umbro sweat shorts to wear in the room, and one other thing. A blue, like a teal blue t-shirt. Well, that's not teal blue. I don't know. It's like a lavenderish blue t-shirt, kind of. Not lavender. I don't know what color it is. Teal, maybe. I was just thinking about how we go through phases with colors. Do you remember when I was growing up, like, to be preppy and you loved, like everybody that was preppy loved pink and green together? Do you remember that? And then I remember when my stepmother was obsessed with the colors teal and mauve or whatever. I think it's mauve, but I used to always call it mauve because I thought that was funny. I don't know. Do you remember that? And then I remember when like J. Crew came around and they had all the colors, and the colors were like called things like moss and bark. Do they still do that? That's so phony, but I kind of live for it. Ocean, azure. So then I came home, and like Alex and I were trying to figure out which movies we wanted and stuff like that, and then he was like almost done packing, and he was like, that's when he was doing the stuff with the dogs. And so I went down in the basement and I pulled out everything that I wanted to take that I had like washed and dried and was sitting in like laundry baskets down there. And then I showed him the stuff that I got, and then I have it. So my stuff is all completely ready next to the suitcase. He brought the suitcases up, and so like my stuff is just sitting there. I already have my shoes picked out. I'm gonna wear my camouflage Birkenstocks on the plane, this long sleeve t-shirt because it gets kind of cold in the plane sometimes. He got this really cute Champion sweatshirt from ASOS that he's gonna wear on the plane because it's cold. But anyway, I'm gonna wear this long sleeve t-shirt and then like probably jean shorts and some hat, and then I'm only gonna take 2 hats. I like have it all laid out, you guys. All I have to do is pack tomorrow. I have to get cash for the trip. I have to take the dogs to the kennel, and I have to get a pedicure, and I'm done. It's gonna stop. Hold on. Can you even believe that I am so prepared? That's all I have to do tomorrow. I'm so excited. Well, of course, and like make videos. But that's like the fun part of the day, you know? It's like sitting there and making videos and stuff. I was like, honestly cannot believe, I mean, I was looking through my list, because I, of course, made, you know, this mile-long list, and I was like, I cannot believe that I have my, like, everything that I have to get, like, or everything that I have to do, well, everything I have to get and everything that I have to do is, like, done already. I am tired tonight, though. Like, I'm real tired tonight. Like, I just feel drained. I feel, like, peaceful and calm, but I feel drained, like, physically. And I've been, like, thinking, you know, like... So yeah, I'm excited. Kind of feels like we're gonna be leaving like now, like tomorrow morning. That's what's kind of crazy. Sat on the patio for a while today. It poured and poured last night, and our like patio cushions are soaking wet because of course I forgot to bring them in. But we have these 2 chairs out there that like dry right away. I was talking to Laura. She was so nice. She was like, if I have some people over, can I use your patio while you guys are gone? I was like, yeah, because our patios are like, they kind of like set like this. And I was like, yeah, she's got a key and stuff to her house. I was like, girl, you can use her house. I don't even care, you know? She's so trustworthy and nice. And she's like, well, I'm going to be around all week, and I'm going to be having people. I've got a friend that's visiting in town and stuff like that. I was like, yeah. I was like, you know, do whatever. If you know. She's so sweet. I'm zapped. Like, I am so zapped. Can you guys tell? Like, I don't honestly feel this way. I usually get like my second wind late at night, but I just kind of feel zapped tonight. So yeah, that's all I have to do tomorrow. I'm ready for that. I'm excited for that. I usually go get pedicures with Tanya. So tomorrow I'm going, oh, and then I got my hair cut tonight too. What do you think? Well, it's short, right? I mean, I put a hat on afterwards. Look at my hat right here. I was like, I said to my stylist, I said, you do not have to style it. I said, I'm literally gonna put a hat on and go home. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. She goes, well, at least let me blow dry it. So she blew dry it, and then she put some product in it, or I put some product in it. And she was like, you can just, whichever one you want to use. Because I had already stood up at that point. She's so sweet. I love her. I've been going to her forever. And so yeah, I did that. But Vegas, I'm so excited. We love Vegas. I think you guys know that by now. Vegas. 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 Vegas? Is that how I'm supposed to say it? Vegas? I bet that is. I think I just figured out what I say wrong. I say Vegas, and I think I'm supposed to say Vegas. Vegas. Did I just figure it out? Oh my God. I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. Do you hear this? Vegas. Vegas. There is a difference. I do see it now. Okay, and I say Vegas, like ve, and it's Vegas, Bay. Now when people spell it out, I can see it in my head. There's some of you out there that are like, yes, yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, let me tell you about Vegas. Okay. The first time I ever went was with my ex, and it was for a hair show in Las Vegas. I just saw lightning and thunder. I was like, or lightning. I'm like, is it gonna rain again? And we were there in July, and I literally fell in love with it. You guys, my battery died, and I didn't have my other battery with me because I didn't put it in my fanny pack. I'm losing my lip plumper, my extreme lip plumper. I didn't put it in my fanny pack, so I had to drive all the way home. I was 20 minutes away. I had to drive so much for getting my vlog done early, right? I had to drive all the way home and get the other battery and then come back out. So I actually was just sitting in the driveway, and I was like queuing it up to see what I was talking about last, because on my way over here, I actually was listening to music because I don't really want to listen to this audiobook. I know it's so bad. I need to finish it. I only have like 2 hours left. Well, a little bit over 2 hours to finish it. And I just can't really get into it anymore. I just really don't want to listen to it, you know? So anyway, but I'm gonna finish it first before I start the next one. So I was trying to see where I had, like, it had stopped, like where the battery had died. And I was talking about, the first time that I went to Vegas. I'm trying to say, I hope I'm saying it the right way. I don't know, I'm trying to say it. Some people say they don't think I say it funny. I don't know, maybe it's a Midwestern thing, I don't know. But the first time that I went to Vegas was with my ex, and, but I was also saying that, I think sometimes people misunderstand, like, things that I say, like, not that they misunderstand it, but that they, hold on a second, I need to fix this, because it's about to come out of the beanbag. I think sometimes people misunderstand. This sure is not delightful, we'll just put it that way. So delicious and delightful. Do you remember that song, Delovely? What was that song? Groove is in the Heart by Delight. Oh my God, I loved that song back in the day. Groove is in the heart. But I think sometimes, like, I'll read the comments, and I think, like, I mean, they're always nice, right? But I think, like, people, like, they'll be like, oh, no, I think you got this wrong, or I think this, or whatever. And I think sometimes people misunderstand what I am saying. Like, okay, in reference, like, this was a while ago. I don't even remember when I talked about it, but I was talking about that we stayed at the hotel at Mandalay Bay. Alex and I actually stayed there the first time that we went together, and then we also stayed there the first 2 days that we went out there for our wedding, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But back in the day, there was, okay, so there's Mandalay, because the last time I talked about it, I said, it's not there anymore. And they were like, oh no, Mandalay Bay is still there. I know that Mandalay Bay is still there. And, but there was, like, a hotel that was connected to it. You would, like, walk through this hallway, like this big hallway. It was, like, past the restaurant and the club and stuff. And then there was a hotel that was all suites, and it was called The Hotel at Mandalay Bay, and it was like, so it was just called The Hotel, like The Hotel or whatever, and it was capitalized THE, and then everything there was like the bar, the restaurant, the front, the this, the that. Anyway, it was very cool, and it was all very modern and minimalistic and like black and gold and silver. It was really cool. It was a really cool hotel. And so I don't think that's there anymore. I think for a while it was the Delano, and I don't know what it is now. I don't know if it's changed or if it's nothing. I don't know, but it was beautiful back then. The only problem, like Mandalay Bay has a really cool pool. It has like a lazy river and very cool pool. The only thing about it is it's so far down on the strip that it takes forever to get to anything, and we literally that whole week got like nickeled and dimed, like taking, you know, well, back then cabs, because they didn't have Ubers, you know, and stuff, but you know, I think the last time that we were there, we used cabs more than we used Ubers. I don't remember. I think from the airport we took an Uber, but I don't know. And then the other thing was, the other day, a couple people, I think, said something about, I know there was at least 1 or 2 comments about it, about me paying Laura, and that I said something about giving her a case of beer, or like I was going to have Alex get her a case of beer, and that, and I think people misunderstood that I was going to, like, give her a case of beer and you know, and not pay her the money. I was going to give her a case of beer, like, on top, like, because she did such a great job, and I thought it was so nice that she did it, and I didn't think $50 was really that much. I mean, she really kind of fought me to even pay anything, and because she just loves to do this now or something, and I was like, girl, I'm not going to let you not let me pay you, you know? And so, but I ended up just, like, giving her some extra money. So anyway, but I just wanted to, I think sometimes people they misunderstand what I say or whatever, probably because I speak so lacking clarity when I say things, but anyway. So I don't know what the hotel at Mandalay Bay is now, but back in the day, it was like it was called The Hotel or The Hotel, however you sound it. I think The Hotel sounds a little bougier, but anyway. So that was the first trip that I went, and we had a really, really good time. and we went with a bunch of people, and they were like busy all day at this thing. So this one girl and her boyfriend, or this one girl's boyfriend and I, we like hung out all day together by the pool, just he and I. And I remember he got so completely drunk, and we were like at this private pool, and it was like they had this loungy music, they had like a DJ, and it was like dead. There was like nobody in there. It was just like us and like maybe like 5 other people. And like he passed out in the chair, and it's like 100-degree heat, and I remember having to like wake him up and be like, dude, we need to go inside because you're like burnt, like this is bad, right? And yeah, but like, I mean, I just like fell in love with, I just fell in love with Vegas right away. It's gonna be hard for me to say that. I just fell in love with it right away. I mean, everything was so magical to me that first trip. And you know, the weird thing about it is, like, I've never really had a bad time there. Like, I've never, like, I mean, we just like, well, first of all, Alex and I, we don't really ever have a bad time traveling together whatsoever. I mean, we just have such a great time traveling, but, and, you know, like, I think we're such great travel companions. Like, we travel very similar. Like, I was talking about, like, the packing, you know? Like, how we pack alike. Like, we travel alike, too, you know? Like, we both like to, like, just sit there and watch movies on the plane and get snacks. And, you know, just, we can't wait to check in and see the hotel room. We love hotel rooms, and we have our favorite hotel rooms in the world, and we have our favorite restaurants. We were talking about that tonight, like, some of our favorite restaurants in, you know, Vegas that we get. It's funny now to me now that every time I say it, it's like that Optavia. But we have like our favorite places that we, you know, go to eat when we're there and all this kind of stuff. And they actually, we've got some new restaurants that we want to try this time. But there's a couple restaurants that we love. There's this place in the Venetian that we had, we actually had our wedding, a rehearsal dinner there, and that was, it's called, I mean, we didn't really have a rehearsal dinner, but, I mean, it was rehearsal, it was just because it was like the night before we got married, but it was in the Venetian. It's between the Palazzo and the Venetian. God, why can't I remember what it's called? I've been craving pasta like nobody's business, so I cannot wait to eat pasta on this trip. I think it's called, like, it's not the Cafe du Monde, because that's in New Orleans, Cafe something. But anyway, it's open 24 hours, and it's owned by the Cheesecake Factory. It's basically the exact same menu as a Cheesecake Factory, but it's just fun. It's loud, and people go there after clubs and stuff like that. I just love that Vegas never sleeps. Alex said to me that one night he wanted to, like, for us to stay up and see the sunrise. Like, that was one of his, like, things. I was like, well, I do that about every morning, so we can do that together. That'll be fun, I think, you know? And he was like, I know you like to stay up late, so, like, maybe one night we can stay up and see the sunrise. I think Sunday we're gonna go, because that's our anniversary. I think we're gonna go, we might do the Fremont Street experience on Sunday, and then we're gonna go somewhere really nice and drink. I don't drink. We're gonna go somewhere, oh, my haters, they just all came out now. They're like, oh, he slipped. He's been drinking all along. Oh my God. We're gonna go somewhere and eat, somewhere nice, like STK or something like that. We're gonna go somewhere somewhere nice to eat, somewhere like that. Alex loves a good steakhouse, so we'll probably do that. There's a couple, oh, I know one place I want to really try is, if we can even get in, I think it's impossible to get in, is, what's it called? Oh shoot, Tom Tom, the new Tom, is that what it is? Is it Pump or Tom? Whatever, the new Lisa Vanderpump place, and, it was just horrible how she ended all that with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, wasn't it? I just have to say that, okay? I thought that lacked such class, the way that she ended that. And I actually always really liked Lisa Vanderpump, but I just thought the way that all ended, I just was not, I was like, Lisa, that's a bad look, you know? Anyway, so especially when she said, that Denny's is absolutely not one person in there tonight, Dad. That's kind of spooky. But anyway, especially when she said, no matter what happened, you're part of the show, you always show up for the reunion, and then she didn't show up for the reunion. Whatever. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that on Sunday night. I think we're gonna go, because I really want him to see like old Vegas, a Fremont Street experience, just go into some of those old bars and stuff like that. And then some like those old casinos and, you know, all that kind of stuff down there. It's cool down there. You guys know what I'm talking about? When you walk down that street, it's very seedy, like old Vegas, and like the Golden Nugget's right there, and the Four Queens is on the corner, and then there's like all these little like bars and restaurants when you're like walking down the street, and then the Fremont Street Experience is over the head, and if you've never been to Vegas, you have to see it at least once. The year that I went, I don't know how I got so lucky, but you guys know that this I about died. It was the landing of a spaceship. So it's like this light show that's like over the street. It's very cool. And the year that I went was like, it was like this alien ship that was like landing right on the street. It like literally felt like, is that what it is all the time? If I say this and you guys are like, yeah, Peter, that's what it always says. But like, it was like this, but it just was cool. I mean, it literally, like you looked up and it was like, oh my God, it's like an alien, you know, its ship is landing right here. It was really cool. So, yeah. So I think that's what we're going to do on Sunday night. So that was my first time going to Las Vegas. And then, God, I think we went a second time with our friends, those girls that I went and visited, that I went to the funeral with. But I don't remember that trip. Like, I don't remember that trip at all. I don't remember going, but I know that we went on a trip with them. Because they stayed at a different hotel than us, and it was like we were having a really hard time, like, connecting. I can see us, like, sitting in the hotel room, and us, like, having a really hard time trying to, like, figure out where we were going to meet, because they had never been there before, and so they were confused. And I can see myself sitting in the hotel room talking to them on the phone. So I know we went, but I don't remember. That's so weird, you guys. I don't remember that trip. I remember like every trip that we took. I don't know why I don't remember that trip. That was actually towards the end of our relationship too. Well, maybe like 2 years before we broke up. It had to have been, because I can remember. Well, I'm trying to think of like when he moved up here and when that could have been. I remember it. Well, I don't typically ever go. I don't think I've ever been to Las Vegas when it's not like in the summer, like hot. So it would have had to have been in the summer, and we always traveled in the summer. I don't know when we would have done that. I mean, honest to God, I can't remember when we've done it. Well, it wouldn't have been the first year and he moved up here. The second year he moved up here, it wouldn't have been then, because the third year was when we took the trip for the first time for us together going there. It wouldn't have been right after that. And we were only together 6 years, so it would have had to have been the last 2 years that we were together. Yeah. 6.5 years we were together. So it would have had to have been sometime during that last 2.5 years. I don't know. I'll have to ask my friends. That's weird. I wonder what they were. I'll have to ask them and see what they remember when we went. But, you know, they went again. They fell in love with it too. And, they actually had a dog that they named. I don't think he's alive anymore, but they named him in Vegas. Because they loved it so much. But anyway, that's so funny that I can't remember that trip at all. Like, I don't remember. I'm like trying to think of like when we would have gone to see O for the first time. I'm wondering if that's the time that we went and saw all the shows. Because the first time, I don't think we went and saw shows. Maybe we did, I don't remember. It's really weird. I mean, God, that was, the first time that we would have gone would have been like 17 years ago. That is so crazy to think. Because yeah, we got together in 2001. He moved up here in 2002. So it would have been 2003. That was 16 years ago, you guys, that I went to Las Vegas for my first time, Las Vegas. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't remember the second time. But I do remember a couple things about the first trip. remember a lot of couples fighting. Oh, we went to a strip club. I do remember that. They all wanted to go to this strip club, and there was like some famous one there. Well, now I know, because this is so weird. Okay, we have so many. Y'all want to explain to me what it is about straight couples wanting to go to strip clubs where girls dance? I don't understand that, okay? But hey, do your thing. Like, I think it is, whatever. But all of our friends that go to Las Vegas, they love this club called, I'm going to call it something wrong, but I think it's called Spearmint Rhino. Rhino Spearmint. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Anyway. And this is what is so weird. So and they always are like, oh my God, we love it. It's the best service. And, you know, like, to get tables is super cheap. So you can go and you can get bottle service. And it's, I'm going to pull in here and see what that's called. Because I think it's called, I'm not sure it's called Spearmint Rhino. It's S something Rhino. But anyway, and all of our friends love it. They're like, oh, it's the best service in the entire world. I mean, literally all of our straight friend couples go. They love it, you know? That's like their favorite club when they go out there. And they're like, the service is great, and it's cheap, and the bottle service is great. Well, last year when Alex and I were out there, and we made friends with this couple that we were sitting next to, they were like, we were talking about them, and they were like, oh, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're gonna go see the show. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna go out. They were gonna actually go see the show that was at the club that night, or at the Cosmo that night. And then they were gonna go to the Marquee Club, because they were gonna get in early, because if you go to the show, then you could get into the club. But she was like, but our favorite club is Spearmint Rhino, whatever this club is that our friends go to. And we were like, oh my God, all of our friends go that. And she was like, it's incredible, we love it. She was like, they treat couples so well there. I gotta see if that's what it's called. I'm gonna die, because I can't remember what it's called. Spearmint. It just pulled up, Spearmint Rhino, Las Vegas. Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club. I don't understand why people love this place so much. It's like $50 for cover, but if you call their VIP service, it's free, and the limo ride there is free too. I mean, I've heard people say that it got 3 stars up here, but then it's like all these reviews are just like incredible. Showtimes, free entry, drinks, and transportation. Well, I don't know, but that was not where we went. We went somewhere, and it was about 10 of us that went, and we all got in this, and we were out in the middle of nowhere. This strip club was out in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, I'm like this, my days of going out, my ex and I, we never went out to clubs, let alone some strip club out in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. And I was a little nervous. Plus, they were all drinking. My ex didn't drink when we were together. But I think he drinks now, but he didn't back then. So anyway, but I didn't know where the hell we were, and I was nervous, and they were all hilarious. And I remember we came back afterwards, and one couple got into a fight because he got a lap, I think it was the guy that I was like by the pool with all day long, that he got a lap dance from some girl, and she told him she was okay with it, and then they went and got a lap dance, or he got a lap dance, and then she was pissed or something, then she tried to out lap dance the girl, and you're not supposed to do that in these clubs, and I don't know, whatever, it was just a bunch of mess of trouble. They were getting into fights, you know, of course, then you're like trying to help solve these people's fights, and I can remember, you know, at the time, I was like, let's just go up to the room and order room service, okay? I was a fatty then, I'm a fatty now. I was like, look, I'm just ready for some food, okay? It's just not that deep. Work it out, go to bed, y'all be happy in the morning. But I do remember we went to this one restaurant that was really cool at Mandalay Bay, and it was like they swung from the rafters and like went and like, you'd like pick out your bottle of wine or something, they'd swing over and they'd get your bottle of wine and stuff like that. It was crazy. So anyway, yeah. But that was really, really fun. That we like went out to dinner, and it was like, I think it was like an Asian restaurant. It was really nice. Yeah, I don't think we were there that long that day, at that time. I think we were only there for like 3 nights that first time. So it must have been the second time that we went and we did all the shows and stuff like that. We went and we saw, like, you know what, it was not Alex and I, it was he and I that went and saw, it was at Bally's, I think, and it was like this Vegas show, Showgirls, and I wanted to see something like that. We also saw Divas Live, and then we also saw Cirque du Soleil and I think we also saw Zumanity, because I'd seen it once before with him, and then I saw it again with Alex, and Alex and I are going to go see it again, because that was the first Cirque show that Alex and I ever saw together. So, and I love the Cirque du Soleil shows. Oh my god, I love them so much. So anyway, or maybe I saw O with Alex for the first time. I don't know, it just is too confusing to me. Many moons ago. But I can remember standing in front of those fountains at the Bellagio, and they played Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra, and then they played that Andre Bocelli song, and I felt like I was in Ocean's 11. Like, I mean, I really did, and I just fell in love with Vegas. I just loved everything about it. And so I didn't really like fall in love with it though until Alex and I started going regularly, and we go a lot and we love it. And you know, plus Alex is just really good with like knowing like the people to like, you know, get you into the places and the restaurants and all this kind of stuff, and his cousin lives there and she's got 9 million connections and all that kind of stuff, right? So the first time that Alex and I went was actually, like, I think we went on a Sunday, and it was like the year we got together, and it was the week of Thanksgiving, and we flew out on Sunday, and I think we came back on Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Maybe we went like a Friday or Saturday and came back on, like, we came back right before Thanksgiving. And, that, you know what? I have been out there when it wasn't hot. That was like the first time that we ever went together, and it wasn't in the summer. I thought I had always gone just in the summer, but no, that was the time. That was the first time that we went. And because I remember we came, like, that was the first Thanksgiving that I wasn't, it always seems weird, I guess, yeah. But that was the only time that we've ever gone out there when it wasn't in the scorching heat. I love Vegas in the scorching heat. So I don't know what the days were that we were out there. My God, that was, you know, 11 years ago. But I do remember we came back right in time for Thanksgiving, and we did Thanksgiving with his family and my family, because that was the first Thanksgiving that my mom wasn't there, and that was really hard for me that year. I remember it was at the end, and I didn't even know it. So yeah, that was the first year. And I remember it was funny because, like, we went downstairs. Okay, so we stayed at the hotel at Mandalay Bay that year, and this, like, they were all those suites, and we did go see O, yeah, and because I can remember asking him if he wanted to go see, I think it was Mamma Mia was there at Mandalay Bay, and I was like, do you want to go see it? Oh, there's a mall up in there too in Mandalay Bay, because we went and shopped up in there, the Mandalay shops. And oh yeah, because we went and we looked at, oh my God, I had totally forgotten about this. We went and looked at the, I'm gonna have to tell him about this, see if he remembers it. There's a Peter Lik studio there, and Peter Lik is this guy that does these photographs. If you've ever seen him, they're absolutely incredible. He does like waterfalls in Hawaii and stuff, and he has a special lighting system when you buy, and they're extremely expensive. They're like $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 for a paint. Like, they're these incredible photographs, and they're like, well, I knew this gay couple that had more money than God here in Indianapolis, and they had about 10 of them in their house, and they're literally like 50 feet or 10 or 15 feet, you know, and they're like, you just hang it. They're like such a centerpiece, and there's just like special kind of lighting that you have with them and stuff like that. But we went, I can remember us walking around that studio gallery. That was really fun. And then I remember like we stopped at this bar in the casino, and Alex got like a drink, and I got a Diet Coke or whatever, you know. And we walked down the street because he wanted to walk like down towards the strip, and he was like, "Can I take my drink out on the street?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You can drink on the streets in Las Vegas." I remember he like thought that was hilarious that he could do that. And but we saw a couple shows. Maybe we had to have seen O that time. I think we saw Zumanity and O that trip. And because we both love Cirque shows. We're like obsessed with the Cirque shows. So, yeah. That was a good trip. We had fun. Oh, you know what? We went to the aquarium at Mandalay Bay, because I remember I touched a little baby shark, and it was like this. I was like scared to death of touching this baby shark, and he laughed at me. We actually have pictures from that aquarium that we got taken while we were there. And yeah, we did all kinds of stuff on the strip. Like he saw, like I showed him like Las Vegas, like, you know, like the whole thing. We did all that, and then we went to shows and stuff in the evening. We weren't there for very long. I think we must have been only there for like, I think we were maybe there only like 3 nights, and we went, and I think it was like a last minute kind of deal that we planned. And I think we flew in on a Sunday and we came back like Wednesday night late, and then we had Thanksgiving the next day. I think that's what we did. That was fun. We used to not plan out our trips very much. We used to be pretty spontaneous with it. And then I'm trying to think of like the years of how we did it. But anyway, so, you know, we got married in Las Vegas. We flew out there on a Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were out there for 11 days. That's all I know, 11 or 12 days. It was so much fun. We flew in on Sunday. We stayed at the hotel at Mandalay Bay Sunday and Monday, because that had just been like the first place that we had stayed. I think we stayed there 2 years in a row, first 2 years that we went, and then that was the year that we were getting married. The first year we were together, then we got engaged that summer before it would have been a year, and then the next year we went, and then, yeah, and then, because that would have been 2010, and then 2011 was when we got married. So the first 2 years that we went, we stayed at the hotel at Mandalay Bay. The Cosmopolitan had opened. Our friend who married us, she was living in Las Vegas at the time because she was modeling, and she told us that we should check out the Cosmopolitan. And this friend of ours that we knew here in town, they had actually gotten married at Caesars. And so they told us to check out Caesars too, because we were checking into like these wedding chapels at these hotels. And we looked at like the Bellagio, the Wynn, the Encore, and Mandalay Bay, and they were so expensive, you guys. It was ridiculous. It was like $3,000 to $5,000 for 30 minutes in a chapel that looked exactly like a wedding chapel. And it was, we didn't really necessarily want all that. And it was like, if you went over a certain amount of people, and it was ridiculous. So we reached, our friends told us, I remember we were at this like pool party, and they had just gotten married, and they said to call this woman who's still like our source in Vegas, and that she's so fantastic, and that she was the concierge at the time, like the head concierge at Cosmopolitan. And so they said to go and check if she could do something for us, if they didn't know if the Cosmopolitan was having weddings yet. And our friend said we needed to check out the Cosmopolitan because it was fantastic, and we didn't know anything about it. It just opened, right? Our friend had actually gone there like the night that it opened. She went to like the premiere opening of it and stayed there and everything like that. So we called this woman, and she was like, oh yeah, she was like, and you'll most likely be our first wedding that we're having. And so she put together this amazing, when I tell you, you guys, if I told you how much we paid to get married, I mean, it was not a lot. And it was because we brought so many people with us, and so we did block rooms for them, and then they gave us like a suite. They didn't give it to us for the whole time, but like they gave, I don't think they did. I think they gave it to us for a couple nights for free. And then we got the chapel, which is actually 2 suites with the knocked down, and it overlooks the fountains at the Bellagio, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was so cool. We got married with the fountains of the Bellagio behind us, and all the windows open, and it just was like, and the Paris in the corner, and we were right there, you know, with everything, and it just was like, I don't know, it was very cool. It was exactly what I would have wanted it to be, you know, and we're matching suits and shirts and ties, and had all blue. We love blue, so we had all blue flowers. And our song was You and I by Ingrid Michaelson, and I actually just downloaded it, and I was like, I didn't know that I didn't have it on my phone, and I was playing it for him tonight. I go, listen to what I downloaded, and he goes, you didn't have that on your phone already? And we were like dancing in the kitchen a little bit tonight. It was cute. And yeah, we got each other groom gifts, which is so funny because I got him this Burberry wallet for one day, and he still uses it like every day. It's like one of his wallets that he uses every day. And we got each other groom gifts every single day. Isn't that funny? Like up till our marriage, or up till our wedding, every day we gave each other groom's gifts. It was something we had talked about before, I think. We also did this like gratitude. I talked about that on here the other day. I won't talk about it again. But we did this gratitude list thing going in. We did so many kind of like romantic, cool things before we got married. It was very traditional. It was really important to me to have a lot of the traditions. You know, like wedding traditions, like getting married on the up. We got married on the up. And like they pronounced us husband and husband, and we got married, and then like as soon as we did, like the fountains went off, and I was like, because I was like, gotta get married on the up, can't get married on the down. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like we got married at 6:30, so like 6:30 to 7. It's bad luck to get married from like 7 to 7. You don't get married on the down. And all that kind of stuff. And like something borrowed, something blue, you know. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. We did all that. And then there's a couple of Venezuelan traditions. And one of them is that you have to leave your wedding reception without anybody seeing you, and you just leave. You don't say goodbye to anybody, you just leave. And that was the one that Alex picked. And our friends, like, they wouldn't let us do it. And so it was funny. We had a good time. We had a great wedding. Wrote our own vows. And, yeah. It's fun to go out there, you know, and relive it and remember it, and we talk about it and stuff, you know. I wish you could take 11 days off. I'd go back out there for 11 days. We had so much fun, although I think I'd miss my dogs, but... we did so many fun things. So one of Alex's friends from college lives in Las Vegas. And so he took us to like all of the small gay bars there. He took us to one called Charlie's. I don't know if it's still there. And then he took us to Piranha. And then he took us to Divas, which is now no longer because I think they got in trouble for some tax stuff or whatever, but that was good. That was like the drag show that like all the people like Coco Montrese and Derek Barry that were from RuPaul's Drag Race have been on that. And Hot Chocolate, who had been this like drag queen that I had watched forever, like in pageants and stuff. She always judged pageants. She'd been around forever. She was like Tina Turner and stuff. She was there. And Larry Edwards is his name. But anyway, and then he took us to this restaurant. I will never forget it. I remember because we had gone shopping that day. Alex and I did a lot of shopping, and we had gone shopping that day. And I had, there was so much lightning in the sky, it's crazy. And I had bought, and I wasn't thin, but I was thinner. And I bought a pair of these jeans from Ben Sherman that like hugged me so they were so cute. I don't think I could get one leg into them right now. They're like part of my motivation clothes. But anyway, and then I got this t-shirt, and I don't remember where I got it from, but it was this blue turtleneck t-shirt. It was short sleeve, like navy blue, but it was a tank top, or it was not me, I don't wear tank tops, but it was there's nothing wrong with a tank top. My husband wears them. I look horrible in them. That's why I don't wear them. But it was a navy blue, a turtleneck t-shirt. It was so cute, and I wore it just that trip because then I came home and I started gaining weight. But I remember I wore it that night, and we went to this restaurant. It was called Dragonfly, and it was like a tapas restaurant. It was all dark lit, and they had all these dragonfly lights everywhere, like hanging, like Christmas lights that were hanging everywhere. It was really, really cool. We had such a good time that night. I remember we went to the Hard Rock Cafe for something. I don't remember what we went there for, though. Hard Rock Cafe Hotel. I remember it being really, really loud. I was like, this place is loud. We must have met up with him the first time that we went there, too. Or maybe, you know what, I think Alex and I went to Las Vegas actually. Well, no, because we were trying to save money, so we didn't go on any trips that second year, I don't think. Or did we? I don't know. If we did, that probably would have been the only one, because we were really trying to save money for our wedding. We didn't really do a whole lot. But we went out there and met up with him, his friend. No, that was the week of our wedding. That was the week of our wedding that we went out there. Because he and I, like, that was like the first time that I met him. And we, like, really, really hit it off. And he and I got along so well. And I remember we just had such a blast. It's kind of fun to go to Las Vegas and then, like, know people there. Like, Maya and Alex's friend. And then, like, they drive us everywhere in cars. And so you're, like, you know, like a local. It's kind of fun, but then you like go back and stay in your hotel. I don't know what I love about that, but I do. But I'm so excited about it. It's going to be so much fun. Alex has all of his like outfits planned out. He has like this one shirt that he's wearing, and it's like half is like t-shirt material, and the other half is like this mesh, see-through mesh. I know, right? But it's a club shirt. It looks very nice. But anyway. So I was trying on some of these shirts. This is actually why I went and bought something. And he goes, I said, what do you think of this? And he goes, I like it. He goes, it's just not very clubby. And I go, I'm 47. What would you consider clubby, Alex? I said, I can wear a black t-shirt and a pair of jeans and, you know, some fun shoes. But what do you consider clubby at 47? I'm not going to wear a half mesh shirt with my nipples showing. And he just started laughing so hard. I wish I could, though. I mean, listen, if I had a better body, I would. I'm ready to lay by the pool. I'm ready to eat some good food. I'm ready to get room service. I'm ready to sleep in a hotel bed. I love hotel rooms. I love hotel rooms. I love hotel rooms. I could live in a hotel room, and I will tell you who is to blame for that is my father. And I'll tell you what, the truth of the nature all day long, too. I do, like, don't get me wrong, I love a good 5-star hotel, okay? We were joking, where were we talking tonight, Alex and I? Oh, no, this was last night when we were at, was that last night? God, it seems so long ago. When we were at dinner with Susie and all of them. They were making fun of me about liking 5-star hotels, and Alex was like, I said something about I am kind of a hotel snob, and Alex goes, you are a hotel snob. And I'm like, well, I am. Like, I like, when I'm traveling, I like to stay somewhere nice. But when I was growing up, we stayed some nice places, we did. And my dad liked to travel the same way, but like, we stayed in some like motels. You remember the motels with the pool, and then the motel would go around it, and the doors would be on the outside? We stayed in some of those, and I remember, like, I can remember sometimes, like, laying in those beds with those curtains that you would pull across the window, and the light of the pool would kind of, like, cascade underneath it and stuff. We would do those when we would do, like, road trips places, my dad and I. I love those hotels just as much. I just love hotels. I wonder what that's about. I just always have. I have about 15 bathing suits laid out. I do think I have too many bathing suits. I don't need any more 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 bathing suits. I And I look fat in every single one of them, and I don't even care. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace it and enjoy my trip and have fun and just do what I want to do. I kind of do want to order some food. We never order food to the pool very often. Well, sometimes we do, but we didn't. I don't think we did the last trip. And I was like, I want to order some food to the pool, because people always are getting food and it looks so good by the side of the pool. They're getting, like, you know, sandwiches and nachos and stuff like that. The one thing I do like about going to places like Las Vegas is the vegetarian options are a lot better than they are, you know, like going to small town places and stuff like that. I wonder if this is heat lightning, because I don't see, it's not supposed to rain. It is like just lightning like crazy. So anyway, I got my bag already. I even have my backpack like out, and I have all the stuff that I'm gonna put in it. I got my book. All I gotta do is put my computer when all that stuff's done, put my computer in there, charge it up, get everything done. It's ready to go. Like, I am so ready to go, so prepared. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited. Now, of course, I'll be doing Vegas vlogs the whole week while we're there. So you'll have to come and watch those if you want. And I would have liked to have taken my mom to Las Vegas one time. Las Vegas. She would have loved it. She would have loved the buffets. I would have loved to have taken her to a buffet. I remember my ex and I, we waited in line at the Bellagio. Like, we waited in line. I'm not even lying. Do you remember back in the day, that buffet at the Bellagio? Like, so, when it opened, we must have been around there. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see what year the Bellagio opened, because I think we went like the year after. And then that'll put it in reference to me, because we went there, I remember. Oh, no. That was with that trip, because we went with a bunch of them too, to the Bellagio. And we all waited in line, because everybody all over the place was talking, not just in Vegas, but like would say, if you go to Vegas, you have to eat at the Bellagio buffet. It has this, it has that, it has the most, of course, you know, we loved a good buffet. So, ooh, I almost spilled that all over the place. So anyway, we waited in line. I'm not even lying to you guys, for like an hour and a half to get the Bellagio buffet, and we were not impressed. What? And it was expensive too. It was like $60 a person. Year did the Bellagio. Okay, so if it opened October 15th in 1998, we weren't together until 2001. So that would have been the first trip that we took, that we went out there. What year did the Cosmo open? We got married in 2011. I bet it opened in 2009 or 10. That'd be fun to be out there for an opening, wouldn't it? 2010. The Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, commonly referred to simply as the Cosmopolitan or the Cosmo, is a luxury resort casino and hotel. And the resort opened on December 15th of 2010, and we were married August of 2011. So, yeah, we were like the very first wedding. They used our pictures on their website and everything. We paid like, this is so ridiculous, you guys, okay, when you talk about weddings. So, have you seen the pictures that we've used? We use them on Instagram, we've used them on our website, we've used them, I'm trying to think of where else. Oh, it's the thing over our bed that Alex had made. We paid for our pictures, a package, I think we paid like $100 or $150, and we got to keep every picture, because they used it for the website. Every picture we got to keep. Edited. Like, every picture was edited. He was a fantastic photographer. And then we had our wedding reception. My aunt gave me such a hard time. She was like, you cannot have all these people out to Las Vegas and not give them dinner. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you need to have a dinner and you need to have an open bar. I said, I'm not having an open bar, Aunt Kathy. And I said, I'm not buying alcohol for people. I said, you know, if they want to come out, I think that, you know, we're inviting them. That's amazing, whatever. And we'll do something special. But I don't want to do an open bar. I don't feel right about that. Like, Alex and I have talked about this as far as like, us getting married, like, and me being a person in recovery. Like, I don't want to buy the alcohol. Like, I'm not okay with that. And she's like, you're gonna have a dry wedding? And I was like, I'm sober, Aunt Kathy. Like, I don't want to have alcohol. I mean, people can drink. I don't care. So anyway, she was so funny about that whole thing. She couldn't believe that I was like not going to have like an open bar at my wedding. And so I remember like, we had this, so we picked this place, and it was in Caesar's Mall, and it was this Italian restaurant, and we had like different menu options and different desserts. It was really cute, and it was upstairs, and it like overlooked the mall. It was very cool, but not really. Like, it looked like you were kind of like in Italy. It was called like Trelli or Tolli or something. It started with a T, and it was like some Italian name. It was really cool. It was like this little like bistro restaurant, and I remember it was so fun. We had to like pick the menu and stuff like that, and so we didn't have an open bar, and I don't know what happened, but my dad picked up the tab. I remember my dad got the liquor tab for the thing, and if I'm almost positive he picked up the tab for the rehearsal dinner too. My dad was so amazing through that whole thing. You know, I hear people, like, it makes me tear up. Like, I hear people's horror stories of coming out to their parents. You know, my father walked me down the aisle, you know. He spoke at my wedding. And I remember, so Alex and I were separated before we got married, like, you know, on either side of the suites, the chapels. And my dad was sitting in there with me, and Caroline was my best woman, and Sarah was Alex's, and we were sitting in there, and my dad said, you know, it was at the end, I didn't know that. My dad said something like, any last words or something like that, and I said, no, and, you know, he was like, well, you snagged a good one. And I remember my dad said in the wedding, when he spoke, he gave like this really great speech, and he said, you know, people say that marriages are 50-50, and he said, but that's crap. And he said, you know, marriages are 100% and 100%. He said, you each have to give 100% at any given time, because you never know what the other person is actually giving him. If they're only capable of giving 60% or 40% or 20% one day because they've got stuff going on, you got to be given 100% to carry the weight for the rest of the marriage. And that's how a marriage equalizes, is it goes up and down, it goes up and down. And you said, in really great days are when you're both giving it 100%. But most days you're not both giving it 100%, so you got to always try, you know, and give that. And I remember him talking about that. It was like this really neat thing. And then Alex's mom spoke, and she talked about when each child was born. She talked about like her siblings and her mother and father being like pieces of this rope, and that when her kids were born, they were like pieces of string that was added to this rope to strengthen the family of this rope. And then she said, and she started crying, and she was like, and then this is, and Fufu translated for her, so it was in Spanish and it was in English. And so because we wanted Fufu to be in the wedding too, and so that was his way, so that she wanted to read it in Spanish because it's a Venezuelan tradition to tell this like story. And so Fufu told it in English, like for the people that didn't speak Spanish there. So anyway, because she spoke English at the time, she could have done it. But anyway, but then she started crying, and then she said, and then when Peter came into our family, and I'll never forget when she said our family, you know, like that. She always says that to me, you are my son, you know, don't forget that, you are my son and I am your mother. And she said, you know, like Peter became, you know, this part of this rope that we didn't know that we needed, and now we can't, you know, go without it, and we need it because it strengthens our family, and we have to have this tight rope, you know. And then Caroline spoke because I wanted there to be some like presence of my mother, since my mother wasn't there. And so she said some things, and then we had there was a recovery prayer that was read, Alex didn't want it to be overly religious, but he knew I wanted it to be spiritual, so we met in the middle. And it was really important to me to have my recovery represented there, so we had a recovery prayer that was read. And yeah. We got married before marriage equality was legalized. And I remember at that time, there were a few people, like not a lot of people that we knew, like all of our friends and stuff took it seriously, like this is a wedding, like they were getting married, right? Even though it wasn't legal. And it was a big discussion that we had, like, are we gonna wait or are we not gonna wait, you know? And we were like, and a lot of people like, we're like, you should have waited, and we're like, you know what, we're in love, we're gonna get married, like this is important for us. And you know, the second that it's passed, and we will see the reason why we wanted to get married in front of our friends and our family, and I wanted it to be a spiritual thing, and he wanted to have traditions, you know, from his family and things like that, was that we wanted to get married in front of our friends and family to make that commitment in front of them, like it was important to us in front of them. And that then when we got married legally, when it was passed, we would. And we don't, even though we had a wedding service at the city county building, like we don't consider that like our wedding. Like a lot of people say like they had two weddings. Like we don't consider that our wedding. But that was a really special day too. And what was I gonna say? But like, I don't really remember anybody questioning and being like, oh, this isn't like a real wedding, you know? Because it was a real wedding for us. And there were actually quite a few gay couples back then when we couldn't get married that did. And I have to tell you, one of the coolest things about that whole experience to me was that Las Vegas, I actually think Nevada at that time was one of the states that had passed it. But it just, because they officiated it there, because we had to have a guy that officiated the wedding in the room, like he signed off on the paperwork, and but we didn't get a marriage license in the state of Nevada because we weren't residents, and I don't know how that worked. We asked, but with marriage equality, there was something like a reason, like it wouldn't have mattered if we did or not, or something, because in the state of Indiana, it wasn't legal, so only if we were in the state of Nevada or something was how it worked. I can't honestly remember how it all went down. But our friend married us. She officiated the wedding, but he had to say a few things because he was actually like the legal officiant of the wedding, this older guy that was there. And so he said it like he was the one that, like she pronounced his husband, and then he said by the state of Nevada, and all that stuff. We got the paperwork and everything at home. We have the whole folder of everything. It was really cool. But oh, I know what I was going to say. One of the things that was really cool was that the restaurant, the hotel, the wedding planner at the hotel, the head of concierge, the woman that we worked with, all of them, not one person ever treated us as if it wasn't like 100% legal wedding. It was the coolest thing. And you know, here in Indianapolis too, because we registered at Crate and Barrel, we registered at Target, and we registered at Macy's. I think those were the three that we were registered at. And that was so much fun. If you've never gotten engaged before, the registering is some of to get that, like, that, you know, the gun that you take around and you like, okay, we had so much fun. And we had a huge bachelor party together the weekend before we left for Vegas. We had it together. It was so much fun. Everybody came. And that was actually, I think, the week that we met Melissa and Jason was then. And I think they came to our bachelor party, and then we actually sat down and really like hung out and talked to them like right when we got back from Vegas, because we talked about going to the sugar factory. I can remember Alex and I talking about going, because that was one of the things we wanted to do while we were out there. And Melissa loved the sugar factory too, and so we sat there and we talked about the sugar factory. I remember that. I think that was right after that. But anyway, the older you get, you kind of start forgetting the sequence of events, you know what I mean? But I remember like going and registering for places, and not one person batted an eyelash. Like they thought it was weird. Nobody. Like nobody looked at us like, oh, you guys are getting married, like 2 guys. Like nobody looked at us that way. It was very cool. We got like at the hotel at Mandalay Bay and at the Cosmo, like we got like note cards and flowers and stuff in our room from like the concierge desk that were like to Mr. and Mr. and groom and stuff. I mean, it was unbelievable, you guys. Like it was just absolute acceptance. It was very cool. And I had a friend of mine at the time, I remember talking to him, we were talking about that stuff, and he was straight, and he said, in regards to the legality of it, and he said, anybody can get married, but not everybody can have a wedding. And, or no, he said, anybody can have a wedding, but not everybody can have a marriage. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, he said, there's going to come a time when you guys are able to legally get married and have the legal wedding. And he goes, it just really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He goes, a marriage is a commitment that you make between 2 people. And he said, and every marriage is different. And he goes, and anybody can go and, anybody can go and just say, hey, we're married, or go to the city county building. But having a marriage is a completely different thing, And I don't even know that at the time I really understood what he was saying. But man, I look back on that and, and in retrospect, he was so right. It's like, you can have a wedding, and you can say we're together and whatever, but there's so much more that goes into actually being married and having a marriage and a committed relationship and going through the troubles and the triumphs, of what marriage is, and the great parts and the sad parts of it all too, and it's like the commitment of, making it through. I love being married to my husband, and I know some people don't love being married, but I do. And I have to say, there have been moments in my life that I wasn't very happy with my husband, and I'm sure he wasn't very happy with me, and we've had some real rough patches, and I don't lie about it, because I want people to know that you can have some really rough patches in a relationship and work it through. You really can. But there hasn't been many moments, and I have to tell you, there have been some moments when I've looked at him and thought to myself, I don't know that we're going to make it, and I don't know that I want to make it. But there haven't been many moments that I have looked at my husband and haven't still loved him deeply as my husband, and, been so happy about that. And I think that that's when it's sad then, when things aren't going well. So then you have to, celebrate the good times. Like, we're such a good spot right now, that's why we're so excited about this trip, and you have to celebrate those good times, I think, you know what I mean? It's all about the ups and the downs and all of it. And of course, we want to have more ups and downs in a relationship. Who wouldn't? I think we all do, But, I remember laying by the pool the day after we got married, and all of our friends that came and stayed, and family and everything, they were at a different pool. So the Cosmo has several pools. So they went and stayed at a different pool so we could have our privacy that day, because we wanted to spend the day after our wedding by ourselves. Like, that was one of our things that we did. That didn't necessarily turn out that way, but most of it we did. And so we were laying by the pool, and I remember laying there, and Alex said, do you feel any different? And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, does it feel different to you now that we're married? I mean, like, we didn't have a legal, binding marriage, and we just all of a sudden were, one day we were in this committed relationship, and the next day we're in the same committed relationship, just saying that we're husband and that we're married, and we had a wedding, And he goes, do you feel different? And I said, I do. Like, I really do. And he goes, I do too. And it did. It felt so different. It felt so good. Like, I don't know. It was so weird. It was like, we were so connected, And like, and something changed. It really did change something. I don't even know that I know to this day how to explain it. of like we were like welded together for, you know, life or whatever, as long as, you know. That was actually part of our wedding service that we chose, and it was a line from the movie 6 Weeks, which was with Mary Tyler Moore and Dudley Moore, and it was about Mary Tyler Moore. Her daughter has leukemia and she's dying, and so there's a part in the movie where they're like at the plaza in New York City, and she has like a bucket list of things that she wants to live through before she dies. And I actually had Alex watch this movie because it was one of my favorite movies growing up. And there's a scene when she marries Mary Tyler Moore and Dudley Moore because she wants to like go to a wedding or have a wedding or whatever. I can't even remember what the line is in the movie, but she says something to, something like, you know, like we don't say till, like, okay, we didn't say till death do you part. We didn't say that. We said the line in the movie, and I can't remember what it was, but it was something like, and we won't say forever because we don't know if there is forever, but we'll say until we don't know what happens next, or something like that, and that we hope we meet on the other side. I can't remember what the line is like, but I actually went in, we were like watching the movie, and Alex was like, I love that. I love that. It's what she says in the wedding ceremony. And so like I sat there, and I have the movie on VCR tape, and like he rewound it while I like wrote it out, and that was part of our service that we said to each other. It was such a magical week. I know we're gonna have a magical week again. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to go. All right, you guys, listen, I'm gonna get off here. I've got to go to bed. I thought I was gonna get, now it's way late. It's so late. Story of my life. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now and go to bed so I can get up tomorrow and finish all my stuff, and then get ready to go to Las Vegas. Tomorrow I'm going to be vlogging throughout the day, so I think my hair looks nice, don't you? I mean, it doesn't look good like 6 hours later or whatever, 6 hours later. It's almost 12 hours later. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday, unless you have other plans. I'm kind of disappointed because I can't go to my home group meeting tomorrow night because there's just no way that I can go, get Tanya home, get back, and get all my stuff done in time to go to bed early. So I'm kind of sad about that. I wanted to go to my home group meeting tomorrow night. But anyway, I'm going to get off here now. So have an amazing Tuesday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Do something fun today. Do something different. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Make today the best day that you possibly can. If something in your day goes wrong, start your day over. You can start your day over whenever you want. And that's what recovery is saying. So when people will say, you can't restart your day, yes, you can. You can say, I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to start my day over. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you say it to yourself every single day. Make sure you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, and that you, really focus on positive self-concept and positive self-worth. And don't say things like I said earlier about my fat self. I'm gonna stop saying that. That's gonna be one of my goals on this trip, is just to enjoy myself, feel good about myself, feel good about my body, eat the food I want to eat, and just enjoy my vacation. And then when I come back, I will worry about everything else. But I'm not going to put myself down on this trip. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to tell myself I look good. I'm going to feel good. And I'll feel good about myself. And I'm going to be confident. And I'm going to work on stopping putting myself down. Since I talked about it in a vlog the other day anyway. So anyway, let's work on some self-concept. So if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And most importantly, make sure that you pass that on to, did I already say the mirror thing? Make sure you look at, yeah, I already said it. Make sure you look at the mirror and say, I love you, Peter. And you say, well, you don't say I love you, Peter. You say, make sure you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Do any of you do it? I want to know if any of you do it. If you do it and you've made it this far in the vlog, put it in the comment section below. You better. It really does work. And most importantly, work on self-worth and self-concept, I guess. But then secondly, most importantly, this has gotten out of control. I'm just going to start ending my vlogs from now on. But secondly, most importantly, or most importantly, secondly, or firstly, or thirdly, I need to go to sleep. Make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how much they mean to you, because everybody needs to hear it every day. There are people out there that don't get to hear it very often, so make sure that you let them know how much they mean to you. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.